46 out of all 50 states are trying to cut spending to close budget gaps this year. New Jersey's deficit, one of the biggest. The Garden State is facing a $10.5 billion deficit next year. That's more than a third of the entire state budget. So how is the Garden State going to cope with that? Joining me now with answers, we hope, is Andrew Sidamon-Eristoff. He's New Jersey State Treasurer, and he joins us now live from Trenton. Sir, before we get to your budget, I want to ask you about news of the day. I know the president's going to your state. He's campaigning really for this small business bill. In reverse, are you going to be asking anything of the federal government when it comes to some of your state issues?
Well, as you may know, New Jersey and many other states have built their current fiscal year budgets on the assumption that we would receive some monies from the extension of federal Medicaid enhanced payments. So I would maybe use this opportunity to reinforce the fact that New Jersey, as well as a large majority of states, are looking forward to early congressional action to follow through on that.
I know a number of colleagues of yours from other states have also called for more federal help because they are also looking at deficits. Now, I know New Jersey is a $10.5 billion deficit next year. You actually closed a similar one last year. So right. You've already cut into school budgets there, withheld the $3 billion pension payment. I mean, how much more fat is there to trim at this point?
Well, I think we really got to sort of reset the conversation. As you just noted, we just adopted our budget here in New Jersey one day early. It's a $29.4 billion budget. And to get there, we managed to close a $10.9 billion deficit, equal to about 1/3 of the prior year's budget. And we did it without raising any broad-based taxes, and we reduced year-over-year spending by about 8.3%. Now, barely a month into the new fiscal year, some people are beginning to say, well, got to look ahead 11 months out, and they're beginning, they're making projections for a budget deficit for fiscal
right.
12. Those numbers, I've heard things like $10 billion or more, those are actually wildly inflated.
But you have suspended property tax rebates for a year. You did suspend this pension payment for $3 billion. So right. there are debts left to be paid here that are being carried over into the coming year.
Yes, but the projection that's been in the press and reported recently is inflated because it assumes that New Jersey is going to return to its spending habits of 2008 and 2009.
Okay. Those
spending commitments were frankly unsustainable and out of control. And as the governor, as Governor Christie has said, the press, the public, legislators, and lobbyists need to come to terms with the fact that fiscal 11, the budget plan we just adopted, represents a new baseline for New Jersey. We're not going to go back to that uncontrolled level of spending that's unsustainable. So if the numbers that you hear, 10 billion or more, reflect the assumption that we're just going to
what is the
fully
deficit
fund
going to
everything
look like?
that we used to do in the past.
Or are you saying there won't be one, as we're saying?
I'm sorry?
So what is the deficit going to look like if it's not that $10 billion
Well,
number?
it's going to be, we recognize there are going to be some additional commitments and challenges next year, largely due to the loss of federal stimulus funding and the fact that we're statutorily committed to making a pension payment. But the number is not going to be anywhere near $10 billion. And people have to understand that, frankly, we're going through a process of re-baselining New Jersey's budget so that, we're going to be building a budget that is sustainable so that our long-term, expectations are more in line. Well, we'll have to look at every program as part of the fiscal 12 planning process that has already begun, even though we've got 11 months remaining in the current year. We're going to be asking every agency to revalidate every one of its programs and functions with a view toward, trying to eliminate some unnecessary or less necessary functions.
I apologize, I've got to interrupt you there. We're forced to take this commercial break. Stay with us.